Okay, so we are about 2 minutes past 2. I wanted to start at 2 o'clock. I figured I'd give people a few minutes to show up. So I am just going to go ahead and get started now. 2 minutes past 2. I wanted to start at 2 o'clock. I figured I'd give people a few minutes to show up. So let's get started with a brief overview right now. So let's get started with a brief overview right now. So first we're going to be talking about finding your ideal client. And this is extremely important in your business because you need to really dig down deep and figure out everything that you possibly can figure out about them. You know, up to and including what their favorite color is, what kind of car do they drive, what color underwear do they have on. You have to know them inside and out. That's the only way that you're going to really be able to successfully succeed in finding your ideal client, finding where they hang out is, and really making sure that you are working with them, you know. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is overcoming your money story. Your past money story and how you view and treat money now is going to drastically affect how you receive money now and how you will receive it in the future. Overcoming your current money story in a way that allows you to become positive and charge what you are worth will drastically change how you view money and how money comes into your life. Next, we're going to be talking about spreading your message on social media. Social media is the most amazing and connected way to get yourself seen. Participating in Facebook groups, you know, rocking it on Periscope, and posting amazing pictures on Instagram is a fantastic way for you to be seen and heard in a way that doesn't cost an arm and a leg on ads. Also, it feels good. It feels good to know that you can go into a group and help people just for the sake of helping. Knowing that you can somehow make a difference in someone else's life is awesome. So right now, this is honestly my favorite way of networking. I know this is the favorite way of networking for a lot of other people as well, simply because it's authentic, it's genuine, it's real. It's just the best way to go about it. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about some legal stuff. So before we get started on that, keep in mind that while I will gladly share with you what I have going on in my business that works for me, I'm definitely not a lawyer, and this is not a replacement for legal advice. You absolutely must make sure that you talk with the lawyer and make sure that your butt is covered 100% legally, because I can't do that for you. This is especially true for anyone who is working in any type of health coaching, such as a Beachbody coach, or anyone who just happens to have a health certification and has starting a coaching business that way. So let's move on here a little bit. A little bit about me. I am a mom of 2 young boys. The oldest turned 7 today, and the youngest is a rambunctious 2.5-year-old. They are absolutely the reason why I do everything that I do. So I worked in mental health for a while, and it was honestly a bit scary at times. A lot of what I did involved working one-on-one with people who were brought into a facility and marked as criminally insane. Many times they were coming in straight off of being arrested for murder, rape, arson, and all kinds of stuff. And I had a few close calls working with these people while pregnant with my second child. And I decided that this was just not for me anymore. It wasn't a life I wanted, not only for myself, but for my children. So I quit mental health and decided to try my hand at working online, which is how I got into coaching. So after spending tons of time getting into scams and just not succeeding and finding all sorts of, well, this is a job, but you have to pay me in order to do this job type of thing, I was ready to give up. I had racked up tons of debt, and I was just not seeing any type of the success that I really wanted to see. So I was right around the point of giving up. I was done. I was going to start looking for jobs outside the home and figure out how I was going to pay for daycare for 2 kids and all of that, when I came across an ad in my Facebook news feed for coaching. And I thought, oh, okay, you know, I'll see what she has to say. It was a free audio download, and it was amazing. It was very powerful and moving. I loved what she had to say. It was a 4-part series that was delivered into my inbox. It was on a daily basis, and I absolutely loved it. As a matter of fact, I ended up, listening to it like 4 or 5 different times. I just loved it. I thought it was amazing. And then I saw another coach come up in my newsfeed, and she had a book series that was available. And I thought what she had to say was absolutely amazing as well. So I read all of the ebooks that she had put out, and I was like, you know, it's kind of cool, but it's not really for me. You know, I don't think I could do it, all of this stuff. And I was like, all right, you know, I would love to do this. I would love to be a coach. I don't know if I can make it. But if I am destined for this, and if it's really what I need to be doing right now, then I will get a sign. Not even 10 minutes later, the second coach that I had found posted an amazing offer in her Facebook group. And it was honestly something that I will never forget. She posted, you know, her current group program at that time was going for, I think, $2,500. And she offered it up that if anybody in the group could find a partner, we could get it for $1,000. Boom, I was in. I could afford that. I wanted it. I needed it. And I had the money come into my bank account that day. So I signed up. And at that point, I had been running a marketing business that I was wishy-washy on. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't really making me a lot of money, and I needed to move on. And you know, I hadn't had customers for it in weeks. Signed up with her that day. I had enough people sign up with me to do websites for them that I ended up making the money back. And now I couldn't imagine living my life in a different way. I absolutely love coaching more than anything else. And it is so fulfilling. I get to stay at home with my beautiful children. You know, we're saving up to go to Star Wars weekends, and it's not like we're gonna be able to make it. We're gonna be able to go to do Disney World. We're gonna be able to go and create these exciting, wonderful memories with our children, and I couldn't be happier. So that's my story. So let's get moving into what we can do for you. So we need to start by focusing on what exactly is it that you want to do. You know, there are multiple different types of coaches out there, and there's an audience and a market for every single one of them. You know, I can name off the top of my head 5 or 10 different people that I know of that are health coaches, mindset coaches, business coaches, success coaches, you name it, they're out there. I'm currently on a group with a woman who is a sensual embodiment coach, and she's phenomenal. She's really helping women who, especially those that have been, sexually traumatized, what have you, to embrace their sensuality and become more empowered in their life because of that. And it's great. The work that she's doing is phenomenal. You also really need to think of what are the primary objectives of the coaching sessions that you're going to be performing, and what is it that your clients will accomplish by working with you. You really have to keep that in the forefront of your mind. You know what? That can change. That can change drastically. There are people who are started out as health coaches and realize that that wasn't for them. And now they are business coaches and they love it. There are people who are started out as mindset coaches and realize that that wasn't for them. And, they've since moved on, and it's amazing. Just because you start out as a coach doing one thing doesn't mean that that's where you have to stay. So next, let's take a look at your ideal client. Once you figure out what it is that you want to do, you need to work on who you are going to be serving. What does your ideal client look like? For example, my ideal client is a woman who wants to start their own online coaching business so they can work from home while still being able to afford to live their ideal life. And that could be a work-at-home mom like me who wants to just be able to afford to take their kids to Disney World once a year. That could be someone who wants the comfort of working from home in her PJs, or someone who would like to work on the plane while they're jet setting off to Paris. Not everyone is going to have the exact same ideal life. That's what makes us all so unique. And the amazing thing is that there's a way for each of us to serve a different ideal client, and for everybody to get what they need out of these coaching sessions. And you need to be very specific when you're discussing things with your ideal client and you're putting your message out there to your ideal client. They need to feel like you are talking directly to them. When you come across their newsfeed, they need to be like, oh man, it's like she's talking directly to me. I get that. That's where I am right now. Because if you make your message, very broad and very general, and you're talking to everybody because you want to serve everybody, then nobody's going to listen. I like to think of it as this type of analogy. You're at a party with a ton of people. There are like 100, 150 different people there. And you start talking. You just start talking in general. And nobody's listening to you. Sure, the first, 5, 10 people around you might turn around and, listen a little bit to what you have to say, but they're going to eventually turn away because they're going to realize that your message is not meant directly for them. And they're not going to really care to hear what you have to say because it doesn't apply to them. However, if you start talking in a way that message is meant directly for them, and they're going to listen to you a little bit more because they're going to realize, hey, this applies to my life. This applies to me directly. And I need to listen to this because it's going to help me in some way. So try to think of it like that. You want it to feel like them reading your message is meant specifically for them. Another thing that I see a lot of coaches having a problem with is their money story. Money story really can affect everything that happens in your business. When it comes to things like pricing your package and dealing with all of that, you have to overcome the money story that you have in the past, especially if you're coming from one with a very negative money story. A lot of times I see people internalizing the money story of others, and they begin to discount their packages in a way that just doesn't feel good to them. They're like, oh, I have to get this client. I have to do this. I have to do this. And, they're not going to be able to afford it, even though they never said anything like, I can't afford this right now, or I need to go find the money right now. Before you even tell them the price, you're instantly like, oh, but it's okay, I take payment, or, oh, but it's okay, we don't have to pay this much, et cetera, et cetera. And then eventually you get to the point where you're trading dollars for hours, and it's just not feeling good to you anymore. And you're not excited about coaching anymore. And you just start to sort of fizzle out, and you burn out, and you don't want to do it anymore. And it's not really exciting for anybody, especially a new coach, because you want to, you want to wake up excited to go to work. And that's what this is. This is us waking up excited to go to work, and excited to coaching people, and, excited to get our message out there. So start by thinking of your money story. What do you think of money? How has money affected your life, either positively or negatively? And do you really think that you're worth it? And a lot of people get really hung up on that last question is, do you really think that you are worth the money that you are charging? Do you really think that you are worth living this ideal life? And do you really think that, you are worth jet setting to Paris whenever you feel like, and, going out and doing whatever it is that you want, and leading that ideal life that is meant for you? And if you don't feel like you're worth it, then that's going to prevent you from achieving that. But if you really truly feel like you are worth it, then that's going to get you where you need to be. You also need to work on your background money story. You need to overcome the money story of your past, the money story of your parents. Just today, I was listening to an amazing speaker on the Collaborate conference, which is going on for the next few days. And I highly recommend you tuning in live and listening to these speakers, because they have amazing stories that, every single one of them has fought in their own way to get where they need to be. And she discussed that she always grew up with a very negative money story, and there was never enough money, and she always knew that there was never enough money, even as a young child, and that really affected her day-to-day life. And she hopped on a Greyhound with $200 in her pocket and started her own business, started her own coaching business, and that was 2 years ago. And ever since then, she has earned multiple six figures. She has completely erased over $100,000 worth of debt that she has, and she has overcome it, and she's now one of the top earners in our industry, just because she had the mindset and she overcame her background money story. So think about you growing up. Think about did your parents or whoever it was that raised you had tons of money? Did you constantly hear negative things about money and know that you didn't have enough? Things like money doesn't grow on trees, or that costs too much, or, your wish list is too big, that type of thing. All of that can negatively affect us for the rest of our lives, even if we don't realize it at the time, even if our parents don't realize it at the time, And another thing you need to think about is, what is your most significant memory about money? Is it positive? Is it negative? Do you have memories of never getting what you wanted for Christmas or your birthdays, or not even that, just, going to school and, coming home and saying, mommy, daddy, everybody in my class has this, why don't I have it, type of thing. And does that still affect you to this day, even on a subconscious level? Do you still to this day have an issue where, you're going back to that place of I just don't have enough, it's never enough type of money mindset? Because if you're constantly in the mindset of you never have enough, you're never going to have enough, then you're not really going to be blessed with the abundance that you're desiring. You need to think in an abundant way, and you need to hone in on that abundance and have an abundant money affirmation that you repeat to yourself on a daily basis in order to get yourself where you need to be. Because in the end, if you want abundance and you focus on that abundance, that's what's going to flow to you. But if you're constantly focusing on the negative and you're constantly focusing on the never having enough, that's what's going to flow to you. Because, and there are a lot of, big business owners and big people in every industry who wholeheartedly believe whatever it is that we put out there, that's what we're going to get back. Whatever it is that we focus on the most, that's what our future is going to be. And if we're constantly focusing on our negative money story and our not having enough mindset and our never having enough mindset, then that's how our future is going to be. It's just, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, which I'm sure if any of you have ever stepped foot in a psychology classroom in the past 30 years, you've heard of this, self-fulfilling prophecy of whatever it is that you think is going to happen, that's what's going to end up happening, because you end up subconsciously swaying the results to go that way. So social media, and this is an exciting thing to talk about. Social media is a fantastic way for you to get your message out there and to get your message heard. Do you participate in Facebook groups? Do you have your own? I know of many coaches, myself included, and we've found clients just this way alone, going into other people's Facebook groups that are very active and engaged and, very full of just amazing people. And, you walk in there, you see questions that need answered, or you see people talking about their successes, and it's just a good place to be. And you can go in and you help these people, you interact with them, you engage with them, and you build that know, like, trust factor that is so, so crucial to this industry. You definitely need to build that up, and the best way to do it is interacting in these big, huge groups that just have tons of people. And you find that often your ideal client is hanging in there, or they know of someone that can be your ideal client. I mean, we refer people. We definitely refer people. If I have someone that approaches me and their biggest thing is they need to work on closing sales. They need to get more sales calls because they're just not getting enough discovery calls, and they feel like they're not closing enough people. I'm going to definitely push them over to someone like Mel Fall or Cassie Howard, because I'm not good at that. I'm not fantastic. Like, I can close my own, but I can't teach other people how to do it. However, they're great at that. If I've got someone who comes to me and they're like, I've got all this, and this down, I just don't know how to grow to a community of my own, I'm going to automatically send them straight over to Jordana Jaffe. I can grow my own. I don't know how to teach people how to grow theirs. Jordana does that for a living. She's fantastic. So it's a good way to network and not only get clients, but also realize who is fantastic and who is a leader in their industry and what they do, So when you have someone coming to you with a very specific question, you know exactly where you're going to send them. You know who was a thought leader and who was fantastic, at doing what it is that they do. So the social media networks that I use the most are Periscope, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, and Twitter. I went away from Twitter there for a while, and now I'm slowly getting back to it because, a lot of it is because Periscope is directly linked to Twitter, and the more time I spend on Periscope, I automatically just spend more time on Twitter because I'm trying to build a tribe on there, and it's going really, really well. Instagram is going fantastic for me, and I've been growing on there by leaps and bounds without even really realizing it. Earlier this month I had like 120 followers just because I hadn't utilized it properly. And, now taking time, blocking out maybe 20 minutes or so a day, I've grown to, I think, 1,500 followers or something close to it here within the past, 3 to 4 weeks. And it's just been phenomenal for me. And obviously Facebook is really the heart of my business. That's where my tribe is. I'm slowly building my own group. My excitement comes from participating in a lot of the other groups. It's great to see what other people have to say, what other people are doing. It's exciting for me. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. So let's see, legal jargon type stuff. So keep in mind, I am definitely not a lawyer at all, ever, period. Too much school for me, and this is not legal advice. It's just what works for me. I will say I did at one point have a dream of going to law school, and that's just not going to work out because no, far too much school, far too much headache, far too much everything else. So one of the things that you need to definitely have on your sites is your terms and conditions. Terms and conditions covers your butt, period. You have to have terms and conditions, especially if you plan on putting out a Facebook ad. Facebook will not let you have a lead page that does not include a minimum of a terms and conditions and privacy policy, because people need to know, even though they're not going to read it. It's kind of like when you download something on iTunes and you just hit accept without really reading it. It's there. They're covering their butt. Should you sue them for something, they're going to have that thing on there that says, I agree. And in the very first line of my terms and conditions, it says, by using meganrenee.org, I agree to these terms and conditions, which means if you come on there and you see something and you go and do it and you get your little tiny hiney sued in some way, shape, or form, or you get yourself hurt, I have this that says you agreed to these terms and conditions before you even started using my website. Keeps me covered, keeps you covered, keeps everybody else and their brother covered as well. Privacy policy. Don't share people's information. Flat out, it's icky, it's gross, it's disgusting, it's illegal, it's not fun. Nobody likes it. You don't like it. I don't like it. Just don't do it. So the privacy policy that you have on there is basically saying that you are not going to take Joe Blow's information when they sign up on your website, and you are not going to just hop on over to some other rando's website and sell their information, because that is icky. That is a no-no. That is something that is just awful. And don't do it. You wouldn't want them to do it to you. Why would you want to do it to them? Flat out gross. Client contract. I see so many people who just do not have a solid client contract at all. And that is really sad for not only them, but for the clients as well. Because that client contract is what's going to cover your rear end in every other way. You need to set boundaries. I love my clients. Absolutely love my clients. I do not love my clients if they were to call me at 2 o'clock in the morning because they're having a mild panic attack over their business. That's not fun. That's not exciting. Your panic attack can wait till 10 a.m. Promise. But at the same time, you want to let them know that you're going to be there for them. You know, if they have a problem and it's in between sessions and they send you an email, they need to know that you are going to email them back as soon as you can. They need to know that at some point it's okay if they call you at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon because they just, I don't know, posted in a tons of different groups and got absolutely no response, and now they feel like they're a fraud and they're not doing what they're meant to do, etc., etc. So they need to know that you're going to be there. And you also need to cover both of your butts with a solid refund policy. They need to know exactly how much money they're paying you to do what it is that you do. They also need to know exactly how much money they can expect back if you're not delivering on your promises, or etc. But they also need to know that if they're not doing the work and they're not taking care of their end of the bargain, they're not going to get any money back. This is a service-based industry. Whether or not you are getting the results that you want to get, I'm still putting in the time that it takes to give you these results. It's up to you to take the information that I'm giving you and put it into action so that way you can see the results. I can teach you everything there is to know about coaching. I can teach you everything that I have ever learned about anything ever, and none of it will do you a lick of good if you do not yourself take action on the information that I have given you. And put in some information in there about copying your work. It's icky. It's a bad feeling when someone copies your work. It's not fun. And I'm seeing a lot of it here lately. Almost every single day I see someone posting in some group or another, hey, I have found that someone's copying my work. And you know what's really super interesting? You know, there are only about 5 or 7, 5 to 10 major groups that almost every coach, that's on Facebook and is active in Facebook is in. Because these are the huge groups, these are the dynamic groups, these are where everybody who's anybody is in there and interacting and talking on a daily basis. So we can totally tell when you're copying someone. We can absolutely 100% tell when you're copying someone. Don't do it. And, you wouldn't want someone copying your work, so put it in your client contract that you're going to find them if they copy your work. One girl went so far as to literally copy and paste from a very well-known coach's website. That's not cool. Please don't do that. Please put it in your client contract that you'll figure out if someone does that, because that's just not cool. So, what do you do now? I've given you all this information. You have some legal stuff to do, such as, are you going to get an LLC, that type of thing, which that's what I have. I have an LLC. Protects me much more than a sole proprietorship, which I probably should have talked about this on the last slide, but whatevs. So, sole proprietorship, if someone doesn't like what you're doing and they go to sue your booty, they can take your house, your car, your dog, your everything. LLC, someone doesn't like you, they go to sue your booty, they can only take what's inside the business. Odds are, though, if you protect yourself properly with the correct client contract, the correct terms and conditions, and the correct privacy policy, along with a few other agreements here and there sprinkled in, you're not really going to have to worry about that. Also, as long as you're not doing really anything shady, you're also not going to have to worry about that. Anyway, what do you do now? You get yourself a coach. That is exactly what you do. You cannot be a coach unless you have a coach, because, first of all, why would you want to? Second of all, no matter what business you are in, no matter what industry you are in, think NFL, think Major League Baseball, think any other type of professional whatever. Everybody that is in that industry, that is making money in that industry, that is doing well in that industry, has their own coach. Even, golfers like, I don't know any golfer but Tiger Woods, so let's go with him. So Tiger Woods, even when he is on the top of his game, he has multiple coaches. Why? Because you constantly have areas in which you can get better. You have people that can look at things from a completely different angle and tell you what it is that you need to do in order to improve. My life changed drastically as soon as I got my coach. I absolutely love her. Absolutely 100%. And I will never, ever be without a coach again because of it. And seriously, the amount of money I've dropped on coaching is crazy. And I will probably within the next year be spending right around $20,000 on coaching because I plan on picking up a package from Gina Demi, which is expensive but extremely worth it. Plan on picking up another package or two from a couple other people because one is going to help me with my sales. Another one is going to help me with the art of coaching, and another one is a certification that I just really would like to have because it would just improve my business oh so very much. It's amazing what coaching can do. No matter how good I get, no matter how on top of my game I get, I do not care if I am raking in $500,000 a month, which would be phenomenal. I will still always and forever have a coach. Now, what am I saying? Am I saying I have to be your coach? Absolutely not. We might not be a good match for each other, and that's completely and totally okay. We don't have to be. What I am saying is you need to get one no matter what. If you do not invest in yourself, how on earth are you going to expect others to invest in you? If you do not yourself take time to invest in you and invest in coaching, how can you sit here and tell others that they need to invest in you and they need to invest in your coaching? That's just not how it works. That's not okay. That's not how any of this works. I'm sure you've seen that commercial with the old women who are like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. That's completely true for posting on Facebook, and it's completely true for the coaching industry. You have to have a coach. You have to always be getting coached, and you have to always be coaching. So, super juicy bonus time. I have a group program coming out in November. When in November? Not entirely sure yet. It's going to be in November. There are a few factors that are going to play in when it comes out, one of which includes the fact that I have a jaw surgery coming up, and I cannot really coach if I cannot really talk. So, group program. It's called Sweet 16. It is 16 weeks to a rock in 2016. It opens in November. What are we going to be covering? A lot. I'll tell you about that here in a minute. So, the price for anyone who signs up before November is $2,000. If you sign up anytime after Halloween, which, why would you? The price will go up to $2,500. You know what? An early bird discount, absolutely phenomenal, right? Right. So, anyone who joined live today and stayed all the way through to the end, which was a couple of you, fantastic job, good for you. Your price is just $1,000, which means you're getting it at over half off the early bird discount, which is phenomenal. How nice is that? I think it's pretty nice. Now, anyone who's watching the replay, as long as you see the timer still ticking, and I will keep this open until October 2nd, I think, Friday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That's when I will leave this open. You will also be able to get in at the $1,000 price. But wait, there's more. I will make it so it's a payment plan. It is only $250 down today if you sign up within the next 48 hours. So you get in a super awesome group coaching program for $250 today, plus 3 more payments of $250, which is awesome. This super juicy bonus is continued though. I will personally spend 30 minutes in a one-on-one session with you before our group coaching sessions even start. So sometime in October or in November, before the group coaching programs start, we will have a 30-minute one-on-one conversation so you can already go ahead and get started before the group program starts. We will go over anything that you need to feel confident in your biz. I will also personally work with you on your mood and brand board, which is kind of crucial. You need to have your branding correct. You need to have your mood board correct in order to get going. This is going to take care of stuff like what font families you're using. This is going to take care of stuff like what color schemes you're using, the type of pictures you're going to use, the voice you're going to be using, etc. I'm also going to help you write the copy for your about and homepage on your website. This hangs up so many people. I know of people who have been in the coaching industry for 6 months at this point and still don't have a website because they just really absolutely hate writing copy for their about page and their homepage, and they have yet to hire someone to do it for them because why would they? That would make sense. So, what's included in our group coaching program that is going to last 16 weeks? We're going to be training on your foundation. Your foundation is it's you. You are your foundation. You are the foundation of your business. You crumble, business crumbles. You're strong and solid, business is strong and solid. That's just how it works. That's just how this is going to be going. We're also going to be talking about your mindset. Mindset is crucial in this business. Sounds a bit woo-woo, sounds a bit crazy. I get it. I've been there. I've done that. But if you do not believe that you can 100,000% succeed at this business, you are absolutely not going to succeed in this business. 99% of people walk into coaching saying that would be nice, but I know I'm not going to make that amount of money. Guess what? They end up not making that amount of money. The 1% of people who walk into this business saying, fantastic, by this time next year, I will be making $7K a month. Guess what? By that time next year, they are making $7K a month, if not more. We're also going to be talking about living as if. Living as if you're already in your dream life. Living as if you are already getting your ideals. Living as if this is where you should be and this is where you're going to be. We're going to get super, super duper clear on your ideal client. By the time you are done, you're going to walk away knowing what color underwear your ideal client wears. That's how well you're going to know them. You will love them. You will hold them. You will kiss them. You will squeeze them. You will get them through everything they need to get through. We're going to work on creating packages. Packages are what sell, obviously. You are what sells those packages. You need to create phenomenal packages that your ideal client wants, needs, has to have. Pricing. We're going to work on pricing that feels good for you. Pricing that feels good for your client. Pricing that you are okay with telling people this is what you're charging. Interacting on social media. This means not showing up just on promo day, blasting your link, and slinking away for another week while you wait and come up with another promo and wonder why no one is clicking on you. They don't know you. They need to know you. We're going to work on that. Branding. Who are you? What do you sound like? What do you look like? What colors do you like? What are your font families, etc.? All of that is super duper crucial important because you cannot post super cute pics of your kids and your dogs and your food on Instagram, hop onto social or hop onto Facebook, start posting inspirational quotes, and go to Twitter and start blasting links to your favorite artists, and people be like, who are you? I don't understand. Why are you like this over here, but you're not like this over there? If you're inconsistent between Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you're going to be inconsistent in what you teach me. That's what they're going to think. Legal stuff. Again, not a lawyer. No, a lawyer wouldn't want to be a lawyer. But I can tell you what works for me, what works in my business, what covers my butt, what could cover your butt. You still need to talk to a lawyer when we're done. Jenna Shingle Jaffe is fantastic. Highly recommend her. We'll send you her link. She has you completely covered. We'll discuss stuff like LLCs, terms and conditions, privacy policy, etc. Facebook ads. I am no Facebook ad guru. However, my Facebook ads convert. They convert well. They convert lower and then lower price than the industry average, which means I get higher conversion rate than industry average, which is fantastic. So I will show you a little bit about Facebook ads. Again, no expert. I just know what works for me, may or may not work for you. Probably will, because we're both in the coaching industry and this seems to be working fairly well throughout the entire coaching industry. Money story mindset. We discussed this earlier. We discussed how crucial it is. If you hate your money story, you hate money, and you have a constant negative attitude around money, you will constantly be negative money. That's how it works. Positive money mindset, positive money coming in. You need to get yourself abundant. Art of coaching. Coaching is super crucial to being a coach. You need to know the art of coaching. You need to know how to not ask leading questions. You need to know how to not freak out your client. You need to know what to do if your client comes to you freaked out. We won't completely and totally discuss this. It happens. It's going to happen to you. It happens to all of us. So remember, 2 days, price is going to go back up to $2,000. You will also miss out on the other bonuses, which includes me doing copywriting for your home and about pages. You will also miss the branding bonus. Super crucial and important. There are people who pay over $1,500 just to get a branding bonus similar to this with another coach. Branding is crucial to your online coaching existence. You will also miss the bonus 30-minute call, which starts before we even have our group program, which will get you started where you need to be today. So that is what I have for you. We have discussed quite a few things, including finding your ideal client, discussing your money story, discussing a few legal things, and figuring out how to get your butt in social media so you can start getting seen today. You should have a solid foundation to get started. If you need more, that is when you sign up for the group coaching program, which is heavily discounted today and includes tons of other bonuses. So the link to that is included on my webinar page, which you should be able to see right now. If you can't, please feel free to send me a message and I will send it to you so you can get going. Thanks for popping by. This has been a super awesome webinar with Megan Renee, the Fema Business Builder.